Settling down now. A little bit of dust around. That one's flicked over the top, and another good shot. Oh, that was beautiful placement. It's not quite going to make it because he didn't quite get it off the middle of the bat, but they'll get 3. They'll be running for absolutely everything now, and it's really up to Perori now to take a little bit more of the initiative. Harris has just arrived at the crease. Perori's been there for a while. He's been giving it to Cairns, so it's up to him now. Even more the bowler at the moment. 9 runs and over. Well, that was very wide. Yes, he's taking a bit of punishment, Steve Waugh, today.
Steve Waugh is about the right pace on these wickets. Fast enough to come onto the bat, but not too fast. Got a very good slower ball, but he seems to have been trying to bang it in a bit today, and I think that has suited the New Zealand batsman. It certainly suited Chris Cairns. And maybe he needs just to take a little bit more pace off the deliveries and make the batsmen have to do a little bit more of the work and make the pace for themselves.
Yes, historically, the thing that he's been pretty good at is changing the pace. It's quite a whippy sort of action. He bowls a slower ball, which he's bowled well over the years, and they've obviously been able to study his slower balls, so they probably pick it a little easier than they used to. Straight down the ground, and that's bouncing away down towards mid-off, but there's a bit of cover down there, so just 2 more. Oh, and I'll hit the stumps, but the New Zealanders perhaps just caught unaware of, or unawares there. They should have been ready for another one. They looked, or they thought about it, and then changed their minds.
Quite a good throw, actually. He went close to the bowler's end, but Steve Waugh didn't want it, and then it hit the top of the off stump at the wicketkeeper's end. The New Zealanders thought about it. Adam Gilchrist couldn't find the handle there for a while, but eventually he got it.
He's going to really have to chip away at everything. Warren trying to cut it off. They'll come back for 2 again. Harris is pretty effective in these situations. He'll try and chip it around. He's not a huge hitter of the ball, a bit of a chipper. Very effective, though, both with bat and ball in this form of cricket. The over so far. Straight down the ground. Will this get to the boundary? Yes, that's well hit. Straight into the fence for 4, so quite an expensive over. 243 for 5. Steve Waugh not happy about the runs that the New Zealanders have been getting. Been quite severe on him. And this was that last ball. A lovely shot down the ground. Good spot to hit it as well, because the mid-off and mid-on are quite wide. He timed it pretty well too. Shane Warne. There's that sweep shot. He loves it. They'll be looking for 2. Well, late. No, that's well fielded.
Darren Lehman on the boundary at mid-wicket, doing a good job there. He made good pace to the ball and got rid of it very quickly also. Left-handed thrower. Strong throwing arm. Knew they weren't going to go, so in the end just eased off on the throw-in, but good fielding. Australians perhaps haven't had quite the intensity in the field today as they had in the match against India the other night, but equally New Zealand have played pretty well. I think this has been the best performance from the New Zealanders. They've gained a lot from that victory last night.
Oh, he's had a go at that one, and that'll go all the way. That's a big one. Yes, another 6 with the spin that time. And, well, I said that Harris was likely to chip it around. He's smashing it.
That's a very big chip, that one. It's possibly the longest boundary on the ground. Got it in the middle of the bat with a little bit of elevation, and again, it went comfortably over the boundary.
Send him back. Well fielded.
So with 3 balls remaining, 251 for 5. The New Zealander is going to set an impressive target for the Australians to chase tonight. The Australians made 264 the other evening. They may not have to get quite as many as that, but the wicket is an extra day or so older and perhaps not quite as the best batting surface, not as good as it was the other night. And I think the best score under lights here at Sharjah is about 243.
That's going to go over the top as well. Not even Tom Moody down there is going to be able to drag that one down. Liz Harris is having a ball. Well, I heard someone say the other day, I think it was Steve Rickson, he'll be in my world team in one-day cricket any day of the week.
Well, he's done this with consummate ease. It's really just an elevated straight drive. Just had to stretch himself a little bit further and wait for it. Timing excellent.
That's the end of Warren's over, 259 for 5, and indeed it's the end of the innings as well. So that's a pretty acceptable total. That is, they're looking to win by as many as they can here because they've got a little bit of a problem with net run rate, given that they end up on equal points with any side. So this is good news for New Zealand. What a good performance that was by the New Zealand batsmen towards the end of their innings. Harris came in and played absolutely beautifully. And Perore, well, he continues to create problems for the opposition. Good all-round cricketer these days. Certainly plays well in these one-day competitions. It's a real fighter.
Hello, I'm Kelly Devery, updating Fox Sports News. The Australian women's hockey team thrashed Korea 9-2 in their opening game of a 4-match series in Canberra in a rematch of the Atlanta Gold Medal playoff hometown.
At the top of the order, and with him, Damien Martin also getting an opportunity up the order. He's been batting at number 8, and Lehman number 7 in the one-day matches that they've played on this tour, both here and in India. So they'll appreciate the promotion and the opportunity. Lehman has opened quite a bit for South Australia in Mercantile Mutual games. They're the one-day matches between the state sides, so he's accustomed to it. Simon Doull not happy about the wide call. Can't believe it, in fact. And Damien Martin, well, he doesn't normally open. Not surprised that Doull's a little confused by that wide call. But Damien Martin normally would bat at number 3 for Western Australia. So the young Australians getting an opportunity. I'm sure they'll appreciate it, Ravi.
Absolutely right. They'll try and make the most of it. Obviously, Australia want to give all their batsmen some practice before the last 2 games. Australia have the best run rate, so in all probability they will be in the final. But they have a match on their hands here. 260 is the target. Already 1 wide has been signaled in this first over. Doull might just consider himself a little lucky there to get away.
Well, no doubt about that one. 243 is the best chase by anybody at Sharjah under lights. Bear in mind that this is only the second competition that's been played under lights in Sharjah. The first one was in December. West Indies, India, England. England, in fact, went on to win that competition. That's well hit, and it'll be 4.
Yes, he attempted the shot twice in the over and didn't make any contact. This time the ball finds the middle of the bat. Cairns, very good job for New Zealand. Went past 2,000 runs today with the bat. It's closing on those 100 wickets.
Perore just getting a left glove on that one. By signalled.
Just clipping the pad on the way there. Very good attempt by Perore. Michael Kasparovich there, he'll welcome this rest. Good hard tour of India. Just having a chat with him this morning, he said he lost 9 kilos on that tour. He's put 2 back. Toiled manfully on that trip.
That's beautifully timed by Damien Martin. Martin thought it was going for 4, and it has now.
Yes, it's added a totally new dimension, these lights here in Sharjah.
Plenty of very good sports facilities in this region. You see there at the back a soccer and athletics stadium. In the air and just over backward point. Timed so well, third man's got no chance.
Yes, he's a very good player, square of the wicket. There's a lot of this cricket in those bouncy wickets at Perth. He gets underneath this one and flashes hard. Attacking player, Damien Martin, and Australia would do well to try and get as many as possible in these first 15 overs. As bowlers like Harris and then Keynes in a second spell aren't easy to get away.
It's a good thing about this Australian side. It's pretty flexible, and you can change the batting order around a bit and not make too much of a difference. I guess the reason for that is that most of the batsmen are aggressive players.
That's why even if they lose a couple of wickets, they can still go after the target because of the depth they have in batting. They always keep that required run rate in check.
Well, it's been a spirited chase from Australia. Originally, they were asked to get 260 at 5.2 per over. And with an entirely new opening combination of Martin and Lehmann, they've made an excellent start.
Yes, and the good thing is that they're still there, so Australia have the wickets in hand. They've got the required run rate under control, which is another good thing.
It's most unusual for Darren Lehmann to have so much trouble outside off stump. He's normally, that's one of his great strengths, both driving and cutting. As I said earlier, I think his problem tonight has been he's just trying to hit the ball too hard, and in doing that he's just a bit late on the shot. He's playing off his hips very well, or off his hip.
Yes, he's not missed out much on anything on leg stump. He got a boundary in the previous over. Another couple of runs on that occasion.
Well, they're really challenging the New Zealand fieldsmen.
Craig McMillan is another very good fielder in the circle. New Zealand did a splendid job yesterday in inflicting those 3 run-outs on the Indians.
Well, that's a favourite shot of Damien Martin's. This time it's cut off. It was interesting. Damien Martin, in running the previous single, went to slide his bat, and the bat hit a bit of turf and just stopped dead. Now, I'm just wondering if that ball hit the stumps. No, he would have had the foot down just in time, but the bat didn't actually make it in time. Fortunately, he got the foot there. That's more like Darren Lehmann through the offside. Australia 37 without loss.
Thanks, Ian. 5.3 runs per over at the moment. That one's nicely steered away. $17 not out, a strike rate of 60 at the moment. They've got to get their run rate up to around about 6. That's in the air. This could be out, caught at third man. It will be a good catch if it's caught. No, it's not. He had to dive forward again. It was up there for a long time. But, well, it would have been a good catch. We've seen 1 or 2 good ones diving forward.
I just have lost it in the background momentarily. It just made the difference between Howell being able to get in and be standing up rather than to make a despairing dive at the last fraction of a second. Wasn't a bad effort, but I think the lack of a yard at the start did the trick, and then the jarring as his elbows hit the ground.
Let's have a look at a slightly different angle here. He actually got his fingertips to it, and it just popped out as his elbows hit the ground. And the reaction there of Duel, one of despair. Oh, well caught. Wonderfully caught. That was very firmly hit. What a player he is. Harris, or Harry as they affectionately call him out there, is in the action all the time. That was a real lusty blow, a drive on the up, and Damien Martin can't believe it. What a good catch. Harris is into the action again. Watch this. He hit this well.
Lovely stroke off the back foot. No wonder he's shaking his head. But then Stephen Fleming was out to a similar magnificent catch. Chris Harris is a beauty. 16 for Damien Martin.
39 for 1. Steve Waugh has decided that he's going to bat at number 3. Needs a bit of a hit. 243 matches. 5,500 runs. And just the 1 century. 33 50s, mind you. Over 180 wickets and over 80 catches as well. So well, he's done really well overall, but absolutely nothing in this series. 3, 8, and well, he's out there now on 0 not out. Steve Waugh about to face his first ball. Well, that's the end of the over.
The New Zealanders went in their innings. It was 3 early on, then they had a tremendous spell, 15 to 40. Lost a couple more wickets, but did very well indeed. It was a very impressive performance from Stephen Fleming's side. The 3 they lost early on were Howell, and then Fleming and McMillan. Howell bowled by Harvey, a very good Yorker. Fleming a brilliant catch of his own bowling by Adam Dale, and McMillan run out with a super piece of fielding. Gavin Robertson, the man, coming around at deep mid-off. Then New Zealand set the target of 260. Well, might have been 2 down. Gave that a bit. Very dangerous player, Darren Lehmann. He's got a reputation of being so in Australia.
So I think he's got the right idea. I really am sure that in these first 15 overs, while all the fielders are up, you've got to have a go. And he didn't quite hit that one. A couple of short deliveries he's not quite got onto. Had he got onto them? Pitched outside leg stump. Actually, they've got to be very careful of bowling in that area to Lehmann. He normally is very, very strong. He loves the ball pitching on or just outside leg stump. He tends to hit it through that area at mid-wicket very well. That time he missed it.
Trouble here. But for New Zealand rather than Australia, well, it looked like a long single, but Steve Waugh sent Lehmann back not very quickly. And the throw from Priest, all he had to do was give a little lob there to Adam Perore, and Lehmann was history. The captain will go and have a word with him now.
Well, Lehmann, incredible, he ended up going 3/4 of the way down and then had to run all the way back. So you were right, there was definitely a run there. But obviously a clear misunderstanding in terms of what was said to whom, and it must have been a very, very late no. That's where he likes them, chips them away there easily. 4 off the over, 48 for 1. Really are having nice long discussions out there. Fleming talking to Macmillan, who's going to take over from the pavilion end, making a big contribution as well to this New Zealand cause.
Got a wide for that. Little out swinger to the left-hander. It's the one thing the Australians don't want us to see, that required run rate get up above 6. That is a real problem. Now, we were just talking a moment ago about last night's match, and some of the viewers around the many countries won't have seen the scores. India made 181 from 49.3 overs. Tendulkar got 38, Ganguly 31, and Laxman brought in the side for Sidhu 23. Cairns for New Zealand 3 for 26, Astle 2 for 10, and Priest 2 for 44. It doesn't look many, 182 to get, but the New Zealanders had everyone on the edge of their seats, including those in their own dressing room. Good running. Yes, 182 needed to win, and it was tough going.
Certainly was, and a really good performance by one or two of those New Zealanders there. Perore has had a good time of it just lately. He's very often required to come in under pressure or score runs in the first innings under pressure. Does it well. Got a good temperament. Doesn't take too many backward steps.
That's beautifully timed. He played a stroke earlier in the over that was very good, and they picked up 2 runs from it, and that was a glorious shot. Attempted Yorker from McMillan. Wonderfully played.
Yes, he played this one superbly. It was just going down the leg side there, asking for trouble. With all those fieldsmen up. Only, well, almost 13 overs completed now. Change of pace that time. That's the end of the over. 56 for 1. Well, some of the lighting around some of the temples and the beautiful buildings around here is quite extraordinary. The majority of people still at work at this time of night in these parts. They start work quite early in the morning and work through until around about lunchtime, the heat of the day, and then everyone goes off home. and they come back to work around about 4 o'clock. Work from 4 to about, I think it's about 10 o'clock at night. Oh, and I think that was probably off the thigh pad. Or was it off the bottom of the bat? We'll have to keep an eye on the umpire. It's off the thigh pad there, and just wide of the gloves. There was a little bit of a flutter there from Nash and the keeper and everyone in the crowd, but the umpire got it right. Well, they seem to be having a good time. That's in the open stand. Aussies and Kiwis and some of the locals enjoying the cricket. Yes, on the subject of those New Zealanders, those words emanating from the mouth of Brian Waddle, sitting up in the stand every day and doing his own scoring at the same time. Doing a great job. Pretty neat as well. Yes. Hold him. Well bowled. Well, I think he was getting a little bit frustrated. That one was bang on target. And you can see Waddle's giving the good news to New Zealand. Bad news from Australia's point of view. Lehman trying to force that straight delivery away on the offside. Frustrated into the shot.
It was a slight change of pace from McMillan, possibly after that conversation he had with Perore last over. Lehman out for 26, 43 balls, and it's 59 for 2.
Well, Tom Moody getting an opportunity up the order again today. So it's clear that Steve Waugh has decided that those of his batsmen who haven't had much of an opportunity with the bat are going to get an opportunity here. Moody having a little stretch there. He's a good straight hitter. They've got all the fieldsmen up, apart from mid-wicket, third man. Oh, that's got to be close. Well, he had a long look at that one, and McMillan, he doesn't believe it. Well, let's see if we can believe it. Let's have a look at this one. It looked very straight to me. I don't think there was any bat in it. Good decision. It nipped back quite a long way, and you could see that he was quite wide on the return crease. They missed nothing, these umpires. He went a little wide, and it did just nip back a little bit. And he has got long legs.
Long Tom is known as, same as the big telephoto lens cameras. Ian Robinson's the umpire. Yes, he might just have been a fraction outside off stump as well, but it did come back a long way. And the umpires do take very careful note of where the bowler is on the bowling crease. And all the tests they've made, the hours of practice they've put in, tell them that not too many balls will hit the stumps in those circumstances.
Underarm at the stumps, that would have been very close. Tom Moody taking a big risk there. 1 run and a wicket off that over. So there it is, Australia 60 for 2, and that's the over comparison. New Zealand were only 62 for 2, but they finished off beautifully. So there's still a lot of cricket left here. It could be quite exciting. In the commentary box now, Ravi Shastri, and with him is Greg Chappell.
Best player in this tournament, the most valuable player, gets a car. This man could be a candidate. Went past 2,000 runs in one-day internationals today. Drop there. Edged by Tom Moody. Perore was going away to his right. Just got a glove on that. So lucky escape for Moody. And we'll have to wait and see now if New Zealand have to pay for that drop catch. That's a lovely shot from Steve Waugh. Superb placement, nice timing. 4 runs for the taking.
Well, that's a classical drive, as you'd ever see. Perfect cover drive, everything's in perfect position there.
85 for 2 Australia in reply to New Zealand's very good score of 259 for 5. They've lost a couple of wickets, just ahead of New Zealand at this stage of the innings. And Harris here continuing.
There are plenty of prizes to be won out on the field this week, but also some to be won off the field. And this young man is the lucky Coca-Cola fan of the match today. He's got his face painted. Very clever artwork there, and he's lucky enough to win a very nice prize presented by Coca-Cola. The cricket ball in his right hand there is signed by Srinath, and the bat in his arms is signed by Ganguly, two of the Indian superstars. And so that young man will go home having not only enjoyed himself at the cricket, but he'll have an armful of booty to take home as well. So Coca-Cola presenting their fan of the match award again, and whilst he mightn't look all that happy, I can bet he's very happy with the prize.
Oh, he's got that one away. He's dispatched it in fine fashion, Steve Waugh. Didn't commit himself on that front foot. Very quick to rock back and hammer that to the fence.
This is very well played by Steve Waugh. He didn't try and hit it too hard. He made sure that he waited for the ball and then helped it on its way. And that's why he hit it behind square leg where the vacant spaces were. You sometimes see batsmen get so excited when they get a bad ball, they try and hit the thing so hard they finish up hitting it straight to the outfielder. But Steve Waugh on this occasion just works it square of the mid-wicket fielder, a little bit of top spin, and just runs away.
Paul Wiseman, he gets his first ball in the tournament. In fact, his first ball in one-day internationals. Yes, he played in the game against India yesterday, but didn't get an opportunity to bowl.
That was
Wiseman had a few nervous licks of the fingers at the start of the over. It's always a bit daunting when you're playing your first game. Well, it's not his first game, but his first bowl in one-day internationals. Doesn't want to get too wide of off stump to Steve Waugh or Tom Moody. If he gives them too much room, they'll start to have a bit more room to work with. They can free the arms a bit and hit the ball not only on the offside but straight back over the bowler's head, or even pick it up on the onside and hit with the spin. So he needs to get his line right.
That'll be a boundary. He's found the gap on the onside there. Tom Moody just planting that front foot outside the off stump and smashing it on the onside. The 100 coming up for Australia with that boundary.
From the Wild West to the mean streets, Clint Eastwood has demanded his own style of law. Now you can own his greatest movies with the Clint Eastwood collection from Time Life Video. Call now and get on.
Australia still need 152 runs to win, and in the commentary box now it'll be Tony Greig and Sunil Gavaskar.
Thanks, Ravi. And the lights are blazing. Tom Moody just working it around. He's on 21 now, and he's faced 29 balls. Stephen Waugh 31 of 43, so they're going along pretty well. Just brought up the 50 partnership. Run rate required 5.62 to win. Oh, and that was very close to the stumps. Perhaps just a little bit too wide to be trying to sweep it away on the onside. Wiseman, the bowler at the moment.
Well, you need a bit of luck when you're going for the big hit. So that's nicely bowled. just giving it a bit of air and getting the ball to drift away from Steve Waugh.
Oh, he's hit that one nice and firmly into the gap. He's chipped it really over the infielder. If you actually target mid-wicket and get it over his head, the chances are it'll go for 4. Fieldsmen don't often stand behind each other.
Yes, he's helped it along with the spin. There's not much of spin, mind you, but Tom Moody has made room for it and played it into that big gap over there. I think even if he tries to hit the ball straight, he should be all right, because the fielder at long on is a bit wider. And of course, the mid-wicket is also a little bit squarer. So I think there's a big gap which can be picked.
So Wiseman into his second over now, no wicket for 13. This will be a real test for him. At the moment, he's just a little bit expensive, but he might just settle down. Mind you, he's also in that situation where these chaps are starting to lift the run rate a little bit now. There he goes. Oh, he's given him out. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. That is absolutely ridiculous. How can you give a bloke out when he's playing a sweep shot from miles outside the off stump? That's got to have hit him outside the line. That's a joke.
Well, Steve Waugh had attempted a similar shot and had survived by getting that inside edge. There he is. It's a big one. He's struck outside the line of the off stump. And umpire Javed Akhtar, a former off spinner himself, gives him out. Australia have lost their 3rd wicket for 115.
Michael Bevan is the new batsman, and one has to say that while we've seen Steve Waugh never look happy when he gets out, the truth of the matter is that that was a bad decision. The ball hit him outside the line of off stump, and it was so obvious because he was playing that shot. He'd played it before. It's his pad outside the line. Just watch this. He comes a long way across, and while the ball does spin back and may well have hit the stumps, the truth is it hit him outside the line.
So every time they lose a wicket, there's not only a dot ball, but it also pushes them back. 115 for 3.
Well, there it is, Sonny. That run rate is starting to blow out a little bit. 5.95. These Kiwis may still get through to the final. You must be a little bit worried about this. Your Indian team will be sitting back at the hotel, I suspect, a little bit worried about the goings-on out here.
Why should they be worried? If they beat Australia tomorrow, they are in the finals as well. So I don't think they should be too much worried.
Not necessarily. The run rate's the issue. If they lose this match by quite a wide margin, then that run rate is going to be the all-important factor. So if they win well, that's what they'll have to do tomorrow. They'll have to win and win well.
That is right. For all you know, it might be Australia who might be out of the contention for a place in the finals.
You can rest assured. I can tell you now that that run rate is secure. Plus 1.23. New Zealand, if they win easily, say they bowl them out for 230 today, they will go above India in terms of the run rate. Then everything will depend on India winning to get them to 4 points, and winning well in their last match in order to make sure that their net run rate is better than that of New Zealand.
Yes, the advantage the Indians have, of course, is that they play the last match of the league phase, so they know exactly what they need to do.
Yes, that strategy is going to be an interesting one, assuming that New Zealand win here tonight. Whether to bat or field first, given that you win the toss. And how do you manipulate the run rate quickest? I think that they'd probably want to bat second, because with Sachin Tendulkar, they can then say, OK, in order to get through, we've got to win this in, say, X number of overs. And they can then go after it and try and do that. A little harder to bowl a side out in X number of overs.
That is true, but I think they should play to their strength. If batting first is their strength, and I would imagine that that would be what they would want to do, then they should do that. This is the shot that Bevan has struggled with. Wiseman's really tied him up by bowling just on the, or outside his leg stump, getting the ball to turn.
Oh, nice was that. Well, buddy.
He's bowled well, He's given away 20 runs, and this is going to be his 5th over. So that's a good economy rate.
Oh, he's hit that, Miles. That's a huge 6. That's gone a long way. Forget about that one. Go and get a new ball. That's gone way up over the roof, into the trees and down into the bunkers, down behind the stand down there. Big hit by Tom Moody. He's really strong. When he hits them, they stay hit. That was Tom Moody's 3rd 6 of the tournament.
And he's hit it with the spin. He's allowed the ball to come on, plonked his foot across, and that's a big hit.
Well, this has been a good game for Australia, no matter what the result. They've had some players given a chance to get some time in the middle. They need 109 from the last 18.2 overs. They've got 7 wickets in hand, so the platform has been set. It's just a matter now of whether they can capitalise and take out the victory as well.
He's got that away beautifully. Between the man inside the circle at short fine leg and the man out at deep backward square. Nice work. 155-3.
And that brings up his 50, and a great opportunity for him to go on and do even better than that and really cement his place in this Australian team.
That's a good indication and a true one of the way the Australians have pushed on at a time when New Zealand, even though they weren't losing wickets, were unable to get on top completely the Australian attack. 168 for 3 now.
Good night.
And whilst all the players have their own pride at stake, sometimes it's more difficult to motivate yourself for a game, particularly in the Australians' case, where it's pretty much assured that they will play in the final. It is a great opportunity in more ways than one to give the other players equal opportunity. Astle is into the attack here.
What a blow. He has smashed that away over mid-wicket, probably from round about middle and off, or even off stump. And it has come right out of the meat of the bat. Beautiful hit. Well, long on didn't know where that had gone. Started looking over in the offside, which is where, in fact, Tom Moody had aimed it. And it's money for Tom Moody as well.
Lorne Howell didn't pick it up off the bat. Slower ball from Chris Cairns. He tried to put his foot on it. And Tom Moody has hit it straight through the MRF sign, and that's money.
Target is 260. Tom Moody has just made himself $500. In the air. And he's got it. Simon Doull is the fieldsman. He was getting away from him and dropping very, very sharply. He did well to get it. It was a fine catch.
Well, the New Zealanders in the crowd really enjoyed that. Tom Moody slashing it away over the offside. Dion Nash has done a pretty good job since he came on. He's in his 5th over, and that gives him figures of 1 for 9. Simon Doull, the fielder, brilliantly judged. Not easy running around at full tilt and diving forward in the outfield. Judged it nicely. Got 2 hands to it, and that's a very, very good catch. The Australian 4th wicket has fallen with Tom Moody out for 63, 188 for 4.
Mark Waugh is the new batsman, coming in at number 6. Unusual, but not a real confidence giver if he's had a look at what's happened before in this competition. Either 11 and 16, about to face the opportunity to face his first ball with that single from Bevan.
Tom Moody, swing of the arms, trying to hit it square, tried to get it squarer of Simon Doull, but wasn't able to do so, and Simon took a marvellous catch. Got 2 hands to it, well judged. He does very well in the outfield. Tall man, but very athletic.
Mark Waugh and Dion Nash.
just clearing cover.
Although Mark was the one who's just coming to bat while Michael Bevan's been at the crease for some time. I think it should be Mark Waugh who should be taking most of the strike. The Australian 200 coming up with that shot.
Australia needing 38 from 36 under the lights here in Sharjah to maintain their unbeaten record in this competition. Well, that's well struck straight, and it's going to be cut off. Lorne Howell getting around very quickly. Well, they got to get a wicket here. Michael Bevan is going to get Australia home if he stays there. Dion Nash now coming around the wicket to Bevan. Michael Bevan just asking for the sight board to be moved. 2 4s and 1 6 for Michael Bevan. Never see a lot in those columns, but a lot of 1s and 2s, and usually a pretty good strike rate.
After having run very fast, it's a good idea to take a little bit of a breather there. Get your breath back.
28 1s and 5 2s. Chance if it hits. Our graphics are being provided by LG Electronics, telling us exactly what Michael Bevan has done in this run chase.
Well, Mark Waugh backing up far too much, and he knew that he was a goner if the ball had hit the stumps. The Australians having luck their way for the moment.
Bevan opening the blade. That's just a stroll in the park for Michael Bevan. Now the Kiwis are getting a bit ragged.
They are. I think the pressure's getting to them. They realize that Michael Bevan is running away with the match. They've got 259 on the board, which is a very, very healthy total. And suddenly they find that the Australians are batting well, running well, and they feel that the match is going away from them. And perhaps the frustration is making them throw wildly.
Not sure why they're throwing to Michael Bevan's end. I think I'd always be thrown to the opposite end, no matter how quick the other guy is. Called wide by umpire Robinson.
I think Dion Nash should consider himself lucky that that tickle didn't get 4 runs. A wide, much more preferable than a 4, even if it had hit the pads, if it had glanced off the pads with that fielder in at fine leg. You have to be very accurate with the leg side Yorker.
Once again thinks he's got a caught behind, but and in fact it's been given. Bevan is a little stunned, and I must admit I'm a bit surprised. I thought it bounced after it hit the bat.
I certainly would be interested in seeing the slow motion replays. Of course, the umpires don't have the benefit of that. Dion Nash firing in yet another Yorker. Bevan's trying to make room to play that shot. Question is whether... No, it's gone off the bottom of the bat. Nope, that is not out.
Well, you could say that Australia have reversed their batting order as we get to the close of the innings. who have we got out in the middle? Adam Gilchrist and Mark Waugh, the two openers normally.